Hey guys, today I want to talk about the different types of cut lists and how to make them. The TigerStop has different cut list styles that you can use, allowing you to push, pull, or position your material. TigerStops are designed to fit any machine tool where accuracy and repeatability are required. This includes chop saws, upcut saws, table saws, drills, iron workers, press brakes, you name it. This is why we have 4 different style lists to better suit your needs. The 4 types are pusher, set point, pattern, or pull list. Let's start with the pusher list. Now, we also have an optional tablet package with Tiger Touch that you can run it on, but for this video, we're just going to use the TigerStop controller. So on the main position screen, we're going to see right at the bottom, D for show. So we're going to select that, and it's going to expand and give us some other options. We're going to select D for list. So it's going to ask us the part list number to enter in. We can select anywhere from 1 to 99. So that's a total of 99 different cut lists that we can program and save. We can also add as many different part lists, part lengths, and quantities. So for this video, we'll just select part list number 1, and we're going to hit edit. So as we discussed before, you'll see the 4 different cut list styles: A for pusher, C pattern, B set point, and D for pull. We'll select A for pusher. Now, the first option that we'll see on our screen is optimize part list. So whenever we run an optimized part list, it's going to take whatever it can fit in that stock length that you enter in. So it's never going to take it in the exact order that you enter in your lengths and your quantities. When we select a non-optimized, however, it will then take those parts from the exact order that you enter them into your list. For this video, we are going to select an optimized part list. So we'll hit A for yes. The next option is going to be your head and tail cut. So there are 2 options for that. There is global and local. Global is just a global parameter that you would set in the part list menu. So if you're doing the exact same head and tail cut every single job that you run, it's recommended that you just set your global value and just select global every time. However, if you're looking to do a custom value depending on the material that you're cutting and so on, then I would suggest select local. For this video, we are going to select local. So we'll hit C for local, and you'll see on the screen, it's asking us to put in the head cut value. So this would be our very first trim cut as we're running our pusher list. I'm going to select 1 inch, and I will press OK. The next option will be tail cut. We're going to do the same on the tail cut. We'll select 1 inch and press OK. Now you'll see on the screen it's going to go to line 1, and it's going to ask us for our first length and then for our quantity of that length. So on this video, we're just going to make up a few lengths. I'll select 25 and 1/8. And once I press OK, it's going to go down to the next line and ask us for a quantity. Now, I'm going to select a quantity of 20. Once again, we'll hit OK. Now it's going to send us over to line 2, and it's going to ask us for our next length. So we'll select 15 and press OK. Once again, it will ask us for the quantity, and we'll select 14 of these parts. We'll press OK. It will go on to line 3. We'll do one more. We'll enter in 16.5, press OK, and we'll do a quantity of 6 and press OK. So we would continue this until we filled out our complete cut bill. In this case, we're just going to be done, so we'll hit D for done. Part list will now be saved. You have the option to either hit start to run or cancel to exit. So we'll go ahead and hit start to run. Now it's going to ask us to enter in the clear stock length. Now keep in mind, when we run a pusher list, we are now going to be loading the material on this side of the machine. And then the TigerStop will then start advancing the material as we make our cut. So our cut pieces are going to be on this side of the saw blade, meaning it's taking the kerf into consideration as it pushes it through. So to simulate, we'll run a 62-inch stock piece. The TigerStop will move to its load position. We would load our material, and then we'll hit start for it to advance to its head cut position. Now, we would do our first trim cut, and as you can see, the TigerStop advances, making your finished part on this side of the blade, once again, taking the kerf into consideration. So we would run through that list, and then our last trim cut, and it will move back to the load position. Now, it's always going to move back to the last load position, and it's going to ask you to enter in the clear stock length once again. So we would normally continue to run that list until the screen would prompt part list is empty. But in this case, we're just going to go on to the next list. So we're going to create a part list under the number 2 slot, and then we'll select edit. And this time we're going to select B for set point. So once again, the first option we'll see on the screen is optimize part list. It is going to randomly select which parts can best fit in your stock length. As opposed to when we run a non-optimized list, then it's going to run in the exact order that you enter in the part list. So we'll select optimize part list, and same thing as in the pusher list, it's going to give us line 1, and it's going to ask us for length and quantity. So we'll enter in 14 and press OK, and then we'll make 20 of those. Once I press OK, it will go to line 2, and we'll do 16 and a half and press OK. And for the quantity, we'll do 45 of those, and we can continue on until we've completely entered in everything on our cut bill, and then hit done. Once again, it'll say parts list is saved. Press start to run or cancel to exit. So we'll press start to run. I'll load my material, and it's going to ask us to enter in the clear stock length. Looks like this is 72 inches. So I'll enter in 72 and start. Now you'll notice the TigerStop moves forward to position because we're now running as a set point. So essentially it's running as a stop. So I will then butt the material up and make my first cut. And you'll see the TigerStop now moves to the next set point position. I'll then butt my material up and make a cut. And now it will ask us to enter in another clear stock length. So we'll continue to do that until we're complete our cut bill, just like on a pusher list. All right, so now that we went over those, the next one we want to go over is a pattern list. Now, a pattern list is generally used for boring, punching, and drilling applications, because as we run a pattern list, it's going to be the same list every single time. So you're going to move to the same positions every single time on every piece that you run on that list. We'll select D for list, and we'll select part list number 3 and edit, and we'll select C for pattern. Now it's going to ask us for a head cut, but that's going to be the first position that we want it to move to from the beginning of your stock piece. So let's say we wanted to start at a 2-inch inset if we were to drill a hole, for example. So we'll select 2 inches and press OK. And then same for the tail cut. It wants to know on the far end, what is our last drill point or punch point that we want on our tail end. So we'll do the same value. We'll do a 2-inch value and press OK. And before it asks us what we want to do for lengths in between, it's going to ask for the stock length itself. So for this, we'll enter in 70 inches and press OK. And you'll see on line 1, it's now going to give us a remainder and then ask us for our first length. So from that 2-inch drill point, let's say we wanted to go 2 inches and then 6 inches from there. So we'd hit 6 and press OK. And then it wants to know how many times do we want to do that increment. So for this, we're going to run 2 of those movements. And then once we press OK, it's going to give us an updated remainder. And from those 2 6-inch points, let's say we want to run a 3-inch. And we want to run just one of those. We'll press OK. And then because we're doing a pattern, let's say we want to do that 6-inch and a quantity of 2 again, and we'll continue to repeat. Now, generally when we're running a pattern list, especially when we're running boring, drilling, or punching, we don't necessarily want it to take kerf into consideration because we're looking for it to advance to the true value because there is no material that's actually being removed. So we would continue to run that until our remainder is gone on our stock piece, and then we select done. Once again, it'll say parts list is saved, press start to run, press cancel to exit. So we'll hit start to run, and whenever we run a pattern list, it's going to ask how many of those are you going to run for this job. So it'll have a done and your goal. So let's say we wanted to run 6 of these as our goal. We'd run 6 stock pieces, and this is going to run as a pusher list. So it'll advance to its first position. We'll hit start to move to the head position, and we would cycle our tool. It will advance, and we'd cycle our tool. And so on. And we'd continue to do that throughout the entire stock piece. Once we're complete, it would move to the load position, and then we would load our next piece. The last one we have is a pull list. Now, a pull list is going to be very similar to a pattern list in the sense that we are just moving to absolute positions based on that actual stock piece that we're going to be running over and over. So we'll select D for list, and we'll go ahead and save it in list number 4 and select edit. And you'll see D for pull. Now same thing, it's going to select head cut, so that's going to be our first movement that we want it to move to. Now it's going to run it exactly the same way, with the exception of the TigerStop is going to move to the 0 point, grab the material, and then pull it through as we're doing our drilling, punching, or boring application. So we'll do a similar application where we'll just do a 2-inch head cut and a 2-inch tail cut. And once again, it's going to ask us to enter in the stock length beforehand. So we'll enter in 60 and press OK. And it's going to give us the remainder and ask us for our first movement from that 2-inch point. So we'll enter in 5 inches, and let's say we want to do 6 of those 5-inch incremental movements and press OK. The remainder will then update. And now we want to do a 3-inch movement, and we want to do that 3 times and press OK. And then we want to go back to that 5-inch movement and do 5 of those and press OK. Now, as soon as we can see that our remainder is complete, then we'll hit done and we can press start to run the list. Same thing, it's going to ask us for the goal amount that we want to run, so how many stock pieces we want to run. So we'll keep it at 6 and we'll hit start. Now you'll notice the TigerStop moves to the 0 point. It will then grab the material, and then as we cycle our tool, it's going to start pulling back in an incremental movement, like so.